Hey guys, it's Will here. I wanted to talk a little bit about Zoom video because some exciting things, crazy things happened on Friday. And I just wanted to talk about how I got out of it before it really tanked. But you don't necessarily have to get out if you want to hold it. But we'll talk about Zoom video a little bit here. And also what you can do with TC2000 to potentially be alerted to quick drops in the price. And there's different ways you can set that up. So what happened, if you're not aware, is with the coronavirus, Zoom video has been doing really well because people are using video conferencing. And, it's business, it's got a lot of business uses, and it's also got, personally, a lot of families and stuff are using it as well. I did an actual 4-way video meeting, conference, whatever, with my family on Easter, and we used Facebook Messenger, but this has really been growing since especially since the virus kicked in. You can see here, one of the nice features with TC2000 is I can drag, if I hold and drag the mouse up here to see the percent gain or the amount. So it's gone up $103 since January, and it's 147%. So it's more than doubled. So that's great when you're trying to figure out targets and just seeing what stocks have been done in the past. So anyway, it's been going up really well, and everybody's using it, and it's kind of a Corona stock play. People are buying it because they know everyone's using Zoom video. And they're probably going to use video conferencing more in the future, just because people learn that that's a great way to go, and you can save travel costs if you're a business and connect with people. So it's exposing people to the technology that they might not have otherwise tried. Similar to online grocery shopping, where people are using it more, and maybe they'll keep using it in the future after this is over. So anyway, I decided to buy this fairly late in the game. But I ended up buying this on Thursday, and I was planning to hold it. Now, I don't want to get into the technical stuff, but if you look at the chart, there's a pullback here, and then it's starting to go up, so it looks like it could have another good run, and it might still do that. And if you're in this stock, you can just hold it. It's in an uptrend. Everything's looking good. But what happened was Friday, Facebook announced that they're creating this competitor to it. So, of course, the market tanks, or the stock tanks, because people start selling it off. So, you don't necessarily have to get out of the stock when that happens, but, you could decide, that's really bad news, and I want to get out. But it's like, well, how do you find that out? So, some people are monitoring news. You can get news alerts and stuff like that. But what happened in my case was I have a watch list of stocks, and I noticed, it's sorted by percent here, and I noticed that that Zoom was going down, and sometimes it's hard to see it on a candle. Like, this is an end candle, so you can see a big down candle here, but as it's happening, sometimes you can't really, it's not super evident, because this is a daily candle, so it's one big candle. But so I noticed that it had been up quite a bit that day. It was really, you can see here where the candle ended on Thursday, and then it opened up way up here, and then it started going up to basically 180. So it opened at the previous day at 169. Friday it opened at 177, and then it was going, so it was surging pretty good with a gap up and then a increase. And then all of a sudden I noticed, so you're up a certain percent, or you see a certain percentage over here, and then all of a sudden, it's going down. So you're like, what's going on? And so what you can do is, what I did was you switch to, say, a 10-minute chart. So each of these candles is a 10-minute duration. And you see this big drop here. And you have the option, if depending on your news feed and what you have going on, to see what's happening. And you might have looked that up or gone on Twitter or whatever, and you could find out that Zoom is, Facebook released a competitor and that's that. And it doesn't even matter, like, is it going to be successful? Is it going to work with businesses, or is it just going to be for personal? And, it's just the initial response is like this huge behemoth like Facebook is now competing with Zoom. So, it's up to you if you want to react to that or not. But one thing I learned from Steve Bigelow, he's a candlestick trader, is you can always buy the stock back. So what happens a lot of times is people fall in love. They really want Zoom. It makes a lot of sense. Corona, people working remotely. And I want to hold this long term, and that's fine. But, you don't really need to be afraid of selling it and then buying it back, because especially in the States, there's no commissions. And, there's obviously tax implications, but basically you're able to just buy back if it starts going back up again. And you don't want to be like, so there's a catch-22 in a sense, or a trade-off between reacting to every little thing and or just holding it and not being reactive to that. So that's a decision, that you'll have to make. But this is a big bomb that dropped, I guess you could say, just with the fact that Facebook is, a huge company. And so anyways, one thing you can do in TC 2000 is, I've talked about alerts before, and there's different, you can say like when the moving average crosses or when the price crosses a moving average. Like one option would be if the price moves below the 50-day moving average, or not 50-day, but 50-period moving average. So this is on a 10-minute chart. So if we go back to a day chart, it's still in an uptrend. It's all above the moving averages. So that's not going to really trigger anything. And if you want to keep holding that, that's fine. Like here we had a drop and it just kept going for a little while. So anyway, but if you want to catch like a quick drop that shouldn't really happen, like in a 10-minute candle, this is if we drag this down, it's over 5%. So a 5% drop in the stock in 10 minutes is pretty big. And so what you can do is go up here, and there's this 10-minute, like it shows you the a drop down for the candle itself, and then these are other drop downs for each moving average, which allows you to set alerts on the moving averages and stuff like that, and conditions and stuff. So if we click on the Zoom 10-minute and we say set alert, it knows that I'm on the price on the price area, and it gives me some options here. So instead of saying the price is greater than, because I don't really want to set it based on a specific price, I can say it's moving down. And then I can put, instead of net, which is an actual number, I can say percent, and then 5, let's say 5%. So if it's moving down 5% and the move period is 1, so within that 1, and then the time frame, 10-minute period. So I can set alert to say if it moves down 5%. So what you could do is set alerts on the stocks that you own. You might have a trend line drawn underneath here and say when the price crosses that trend line, to set, or you might have a stop loss in that area where the trend line is, or some other, amount, and, you're not really gonna get to that point. So you could put the same criteria on the daily candle as well. So you could be notified if the candle, if it's going down a certain amount. So it's kind of up to you in terms of, what time frame you want to do this on. But if you're looking at the technical analysis too, if you see it drop like this, you probably want to wait, because you can see it's still down and it's flattening out now, but it's still down. And this is a 8 exponential moving average. It's still kind of below that. So we haven't really like turned the corner. And so like I said, as you look at different time frames, you're going to see different things. And but like I said, if you still want to get back into Zoom, you can sort of see what's happening. You can look at even on the daily, if you start seeing it moving up again, you could jump back in. And but because I got out fairly early, I avoided this 6% more drop from here. So the deceiving thing with like if you look at a daily chart, it says 6% down, right? But it actually went up quite a bit first, and then so like 6% means from where it closed to the previous day. So if I drag a line from here to here, we're at 6%, 609. But in reality, it was a drop from the very top all the way down on Friday, which is 12.5%. Okay? So it actually dropped 12.5% on that day because it had gapped up a lot. So it's actually a lot more of a drop than it shows here, is just 6% from the previous day. So that's how I got out. Like I said, you don't have to get out when you see a drop like that, but that was a big bomb that went off there. So I think it's good to see what what happened. So I made money on this one, and maybe I'll buy back in. So hope that helps, and we'll talk to you guys later.